I'm Allie McNair, in for Annalisa Itkor. Thanks for joining us to learn the latest Bluffton news. Coming up, we'll find out why some Bluffton residents are upset about the expansion of South Carolina 46. Also ahead, there are lots of ways that you can celebrate Earth Day 2012, including the 12th annual May River Cleanup. But first, these headlines. 2 Georgia men have been identified as victims of an apparent double homicide near Ridgeland. According to the Jasper County coroner, a passerby spotted the bodies of 2 men in a pickup truck Friday afternoon on Teuton's Landing Road. The coroner says 22-year-old Glenn Settles of Jessup, Georgia, and 23-year-old Watson Allen of Bloomingdale, Georgia, died as a result of gunshot wounds. The deaths are being treated as homicides by the Jasper County Sheriff's Office and the South Carolina Law Enforcement Division. Well, the 44th annual RBC Heritage has a new champion. He is Carl Peterson, a 10-year veteran on the PGA Tour. Peterson won with a final score of 14 under par to finish 5 shots ahead of runner-up Zach Johnson. It was Peterson's 5th PGA victory. Well, working long days at the RBC Heritage were members of the Bluffton High School football team. The Bobcats team worked from 7 in the morning until 8 at night, emptying trash cans and recycling bins at Harbortown Golf Links. Coach Ken Cribb says the team's involvement builds pride, work ethic, and character. This is the 4th year that the Bobcats have been involved with the tournament. The Heritage Foundation pays the team and provides vans to and from the tournament. Proceeds go to pay for uniforms, technical equipment, and whatever else the team needs. Well, in half of Beaufort County's public schools, no student will ever go home with a report card grade under 60. It's known as grade floor policy, and principals say that policy is in place so students don't get discouraged and give up. Researchers agree. One education expert at the University of South Carolina says that if a student gets a score of 0, it's almost certain that that student will decide that he or she might as well just give up. A plan for a 1-mile path for walking and biking along an old railroad trail in Beaufort has gotten the attention and support of a media mogul. The family of Jim Kennedy, the head of Cox Enterprises, has owned the plantation in Grays Hill for 50 years. When Kennedy heard about the proposed Spanish Moss rail trail from Port Royal to Whale Branch River, he decided to lend a hand. Kennedy has offered about $1.2 million in grant money and the help of experienced path builders to get that project going. While South Carolina's warm, dry weather this winter and spring has been great for tourism, it's left farmers hoping for rain and lots of it. One farmer says many of his fellow farmers would be happy to get an inch of rain a week. There was very little rain this winter, which is a crucial time for replenishing groundwater. All of the Palmetto State is in a moderate drought, with 6 counties along the upper Savannah River considered to be in a severe drought. Well, if you've gotten used to spotting a big alligator in a pond near the Squat and Gobble in Bluffton, you won't be seeing him anymore. That's because he was captured by Critter Management on Tuesday. The reason? The alligator was suspected of eating dogs and ducks. The gator measured just over 7 feet in length. If you'd like more information on these stories and more, you can check out these media sources that you see on your screen, and you can also follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Coming up next, hot off the press with Lynn Hummel of the Bluffton Sun. Stay right there. Welcome back. Joining us now is Lynn Hummel of the Bluffton Sun. You have some big news regarding publication, right, Lynn?
Yes, we do. After 15 years of publishing the Bluffton Sun, very successful years, our publisher, B.J. Frazier, has decided to expand the company, and very shortly we will be launching the Hilton Head Sun. And that's going to be a monthly publication. It will be published first on June the 6th, and it will be published the first Wednesday of every month thereafter. We're going to have the same kind of good news that we've been publishing in the Bluffton News or Bluffton Sun newspaper, and it will include things like the social column, the experts on pets and legal issues and business and helpful hints for your home and that sort of thing.
And where will people be able to find the publication, Lynn?
Well, that's going to be the easy part, because if you live on Hilton Head or have a business on Hilton Head, you will get it in your mailbox. safe and dry, delivered by the U.S. Postal Service, and it should be a no-brainer for people to be able to read it. We're very glad to be able to do that. Some people we know are avid readers of the Bluffton Sun, and they drive across the bridge to pick up the latest copy. So now they'll have their own newspaper.
Well, I'm sure they will appreciate that addition on Hilton Head Island.
We hope so.
You've reported on the expansion of South Carolina 46 Scenic Byway, and apparently now some residents are upset. Can you tell us what's going on?
Right. The South Carolina 46 Scenic Byway was extended to include the All Joy Road Scenic Byway. And some of the residents are a little bit upset about that because they're concerned that tour buses perhaps are going to want to go the whole route of the Scenic Byway, and there's nothing really down there. It's a quiet little neighborhood, and neighbors have been, since about 2003, I believe, have been working on their own All Joy Road Community Preservation Committee to preserve their quiet culture with their little beach down there. And they're concerned that perhaps people are going to expect a park or public restrooms, and there's just not the facilities to be able to handle that kind of traffic.
Well, has there been any kind of official response to their concerns?
Well, the town officials have been working with county officials, and they say that it just made sense to connect the two, to extend it. And the connection where they join is within the town limits. So that's really the only part they were concerned with. And because All Joy is not inside the town limits, they don't have any plans to add any parks or restrooms down there.
Well, Earth Day is coming up officially April 22nd. How about local celebrations to mark that day? Where can we get details?
Well, the biggest thing happening in Bluffton is the May River Cleanup, the 12th annual May River Cleanup. And that's going to be on April the 21st, and that will be from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. down at Oyster Factory Park. And this is a fun event. If you've never participated, you can go out in your kayak, or if you have a boat, you can volunteer to let your boat be used for picking up trash out of the May River. They also need volunteers on the land to help as the trash comes in and put it up on the land and gather it. And after the volunteers work for a little while, they're going to provide them with a barbecue lunch, and they're going to have music and some green exhibits and other helpful hints about how to make your home more green and eco-friendly.
Well, Lynn Hummel, we want to thank you so much from the Bluffton Sun. As a matter of fact, we're going to have Kim Jones on in a few minutes to tell us more about the May River cleanup. Thank you so much for your time.
Great. Thank you, Allie.
Up next, we'll get details on a Greater Bluffton Chamber of Commerce event from Shelley West Hodges. Stay there. Shelley West Hodges from the Greater Bluffton Chamber of Commerce joins me now on the Bluffton News with our business report. Hi, Shelley.
Hi, Allie. How are you?
Good, thank you. And yourself?
I'm good.
Good. Hey, Sequins Ballroom. I've been in there. It's a beautiful facility, but it's more than just for dancing, right?
Yes, it's a beautiful building. It's very deceiving from Highway 278, but when you go inside, there's beautiful chandelier. They have 7,000 square feet of space. And they function as a wedding venue, meetings, parties. They do all kind of different facility management over there.
And they've been open not all that long, right? I think it's within the last year or so.
Yes, they did some renovation, and they do have the dance studio that's also in there. But they are really trying to market themselves as a venue.
Well, as a matter of fact, we'll insert a little personal information. One of our staff people here actually had a reception there and was extremely pleased, loved that as a location for his wedding reception. So I know, as you mentioned, they do that kind of function as well over there.
Yes, they do. And they also have a church that meets there every Sunday. It's a Unity church, and that's non-denominational. And that church is growing, and it serves as a great venue for that as well.
Oh, that's great. I did not know that. I think the best thing to tell people, Shelley, you probably agree with me, is just to stop in and take a look around to really get a sense of what they're all about.
Yes.
Okay, there are cigar aficionados out there that just love to have a good cigar, and I know you're going to talk about this next business that will make them very happy. Tell us about it.
Yes, there's a great little shop in downtown Bluffton on May River Road, and that is Peaceful Henry's, and it's owned by Bert and Eileen Skye. And it is a cigar place to get cigars. There's humidors in there. You can get a humidor locker, and you can buy a cigar. There's also a place to facilitate smoking a cigar.
Right, and you know, these days where people are just so sensitive about where they're going to smoke, especially cigars sometimes bother people, it's great, I think, to have a place where you can sit down, relax, and enjoy one and not have to worry, gee, is this going to offend anybody? Also, I know for educational purposes, people that really know their cigars, if you want to give them a gift, it's always helpful to have a place like that to go in and ask, well, what would you recommend, or what is this cigar like, or that one? Do they do that too?
Well, they have a club there. It's a cigar club, and it's $100 a year, and they have a great lounge there where people can come in and smoke a cigar. They have a social that they do every Friday where gentlemen, and I'm sure
ladies
too, if they want to smoke a cigar and come in on Friday, they do a little social there and talk about their cigars and enjoy smoking cigars.
It sounds great. And speaking of being social, I know the Greater Bluffton Chamber of Commerce has some events coming up. Give us a quick fix on that.
Yeah, quickly, we have our billboards going up at the end of this week, and we're going to bring the founding members in on that and take a picture of them out in front of the billboard, and that's very exciting. And next week on April 26th, we have our kickoff party in Sheridan Park that's being facilitated by several businesses: Atlantic Community Bank, Beacon Insurance, Benchmark Fitness, Jim and Nick's, Kickin' Chicken, Sonic. The whole group over here is really going to participate, and it's very exciting.
And how can people sign up?
They can go to BlufftonChamberOfCommerce.org, or they can call us at 757-1010.
Shelley, great having you on as always, and we hope you have a great week. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Allie.
And when we come back, if you think that the only people who have had strokes are the elderly, think again. We'll have details next. More than half of all doctor-diagnosed strokes in South Carolina occur in people ages 20 to 64. On Saturday, there'll be a stroke expo at the Technical College of the Low Country in Beaufort to help young stroke survivors survive and thrive after a stroke. It's a joint effort of Beaufort Memorial Hospital and the nonprofit organization Young Stroke Incorporated. And joining us now is a young lady who has survived and is thriving after having a stroke, Ariana Ervalina. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Ariana, a lot of people think that stroke is something that afflicts people that are elderly, but you're really someone who can tell us that that's not the case.
Absolutely not. I was diagnosed with severe hypertension right before my 19th birthday, and started my medication and thought, you know, this isn't going to happen to me. I'm too young. This is something that older people experience. I stopped taking my medicine, and a few months later suffered a pretty terrible headache for about 5 days until I had my stroke. And it's very important for people to know to be aware of those warning signals and to make sure that they take their medication and follow their doctor's directions. It's not just for older people. It can affect anybody.
Well, it's interesting you say you stopped taking your medication, which is something really a lot of people tend to do sometimes, and that I'm sure unfortunately helped lead up to that stroke. You mentioned headache, and that can be, or you said you had yours 5 days.
Yes,
that can be one of those symptoms, can it, of a stroke?
I did. I wish I can, hindsight is always 20/20 going back, but yes, I'm just really happy that I'm here today and healthy.
Now, there are major health conditions that can lead to stroke. You mentioned one that you had, hypertension. Can you talk a little bit more about those?
Hypertension, one thing that they always said in school in health class was it's the silent killer, and I truly believe that now. Also, there's diabetes and obesity. A lot of people need to really, really pay attention to their doctor's orders and pay attention to their medicine regimen and controlling it with diet and exercise. It's really important to keep your blood pressure or any other condition under control.
Well, and it's a little bit frightening because young children now are developing diabetes at younger ages, and the obesity issue is growing here in the U.S. So unfortunately, I would think we're going to have to be dealing with the issue of stroke again with younger people. Now, we mentioned earlier where people can get educated about stroke prevention and awareness. Can you give us more details on that?
Absolutely. You can go to youngstroke.org, or you can call Beaufort Memorial Hospital at 843-522-5585, or toll free at 800-522-5585. 5585.
Well, Ariana, thank you so much for sharing your story with us. I'm sure it will alert many people to be aware that stroke is something that can happen to younger people. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
The 12th annual May River Cleanup and Earth Day celebration in Bluffton is just around the corner. Here with all the details is Kim Jones, Water Quality Programs Manager for the town of Bluffton. Hi, Kim.
Hi, Allie. How are you?
So give us the details. When is the May River Cleanup and what does it involve?
The May River Cleanup is this Saturday, April the 21st, and we're asking our volunteers to show up at 9 a.m. to get out on the water and clean up the May River and her banks, as well as the streets and parks within Bluffton, so that we can prevent trash from getting into the river. And then we're asking everybody to come on back to the Oyster Factory Park at noon for a lunch and to enjoy an environmental education fair from noon until 1.
Now, we were there last year. The lunch is new this year, isn't it?
Well, we had some snacks last year, but we decided, you're right, that our volunteers deserve better, and so we have our council member, Ted Huffman, helping us out with some Bluffton barbecue sandwiches this year.
Oh, that sounds awfully
It
good.
does.
Now, what do people have to do in order to take part in the event?
Well, I'm still looking for volunteers with boats and kayaks. The kayakers will actually get out into the marsh grass areas and pull the trash out to the boaters and pass that off. The boaters will run the trash back to the oyster factory where we'll put it in the dumpster. So I need more of those folks. And if they can show up at 8:30 to get their boats in the water prior to the rest of the crowd showing up, that would be great. I need people on land. It's really important to make sure that we do a good street cleanup because a lot of the storm drains in Old Town Bluffton actually lead into the coves and into the river itself with no treatment. So we need to get the roads cleaned up and our parks cleaned up from Oyster Factory Park all the way down to Alljoy Landing.
I know last year you had some people from one particular business that came and volunteered. Now, sometimes businesses are looking for, community events to take part in, so I'm sure you'd welcome area businesses if they want to have their volunteers or their employees volunteer, right?
You're exactly right. And we've got some great partners again this year. We have Starbucks coming with some coffee and volunteers, Waste Management providing our dumpsters and volunteers. Local kayak outfitters are providing some kayaks free of charge for us with Marshgrass Adventures and Outside Hilton Head. But certainly we can always use more people. And, it's more fun that way. The more the merrier.
It sure is. We're almost out of time, Kim, but quickly, you've done pretty well in prior years with this cleanup, yes?
We have. Over the past 11 years, we've collected over 14 tons of trash. Yes, tons of trash. So we make a difference every year, and we love people to be a part of that.
Well, Kim Jones, thanks so much for joining us on the Bluffton News and letting us know about that event.
I'm excited. Thank you.
And stay with us. We'll have some great ideas for you to get out and about with entertainment reporter Rodney Vaughn coming up next. Earth Day celebrations are going to be a major part of this upcoming weekend's activities around our area. Entertainment reporter Rodney Vaughn joins me now with a rundown of events. Hi, Rodney.
Hi, Allie.
Well, lots of local groups are getting involved this year with Earth Day. Tell us about some of them.
There certainly are. There seems to be something happening in every community in Beaufort County. Of course, Earth Day is celebrated worldwide on April the 22nd, and among other local activities, the Habersham Green Committee in Beaufort is having their upcycled art in downtown Habersham. This event will feature local art exhibits by youth and adults. They're going to give out prizes, and the winners will be recognized and awarded during the festival. There's going to be fun and educational activities for children throughout the marketplace, and you can meet local farmers, sample their goods, and listen to music by local musician Billy Drysdale. Various green groups and organizations will showcase their products and services.
Sounds like a great day to be had there, Rodney. Is there an entry fee in order to attend that event?
Absolutely not. There's no cost associated with the event, and it's going to be held on Friday from 4 to 7 p.m. at the Habersham Marketplace on Market Street in Beaufort. For more information, you can visit their website at habershamfarmersmarket.com.
Now, we heard earlier about the May River cleanup in Bluffton over the weekend, but there are other activities that are going to take place in Bluffton too, yes?
That's exactly right. The Old Town Merchants Group is hosting their third annual Green Garden Luncheon. That's on Thursday in conjunction with the Farmers Market. This is going to be an outdoor event at the Hayward House Welcome Center on Calhoun and Boundary Street in Bluffton. And the Hayward House is Bluffton's official welcome center. The tickets for this luncheon are going fast, but there's still some available for $20. They're at local Old Town merchants, as well as my store, Tabby Chic, on Pritchard Street.
Now, there's a farmer's market that same day too, right?
Yes, that's correct. And the event is from 11 o'clock until 2, so people at the luncheon can leave there and head over to the farmer's market.
Rodney, Hilton Head Island will have an Earth Day celebration too.
That's exactly right. Last but not least, there is an Earth Day celebration in Hilton Head. This event's going to be held at Shelter Cove Park, and it's entitled Healthy Planet People Connections. The event is Saturday, April the 21st from 11 a.m. until 5 p.m. And this is the first zero-waste event ever held on Hilton Head Island. There's going to be a green resource expo for people of all ages, a bike valet, green transportation services, and interestingly, a slow food district as opposed to fast food.
All right, that sounds interesting and intriguing too. Rodney Vaughn, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And before we go, we'd like to introduce you to Cooper. Cooper's a Labrador Retriever Shepherd mix. He's up for adoption at Brookshaven Animal Rescue. Cooper is less than a year old. He has lots of energy and loves to make friends, both of the two-legged and four-legged variety. Now, if you'd like to meet Cooper, you can stop by Brookshaven Animal Rescue, 25 Buck Island Road in Bluffton, or you can call for more information at 843-757-7387. Thanks for watching the Bluffton News. We invite you to like us on Facebook at facebook.com/WHHI-TV or follow us on twitter.com/WHHI-TV. I'm Allie McNair in for Annalisa Itcore. She will be back next week.